ago about how people have, when they come to church, it's perfunctory. And because I didn't know what that word was, I'm sure, Bob, you knew it. And when I looked it up and it said superficial, routine, just kind of punching your ticket. You ever hear, you know what I mean by that? Lacking in interest or enthusiasm, mechanical. You know, he's not condemning people for coming to church, but you heard me tell the story on a Good Friday. You know, got a very serious moment in talking about Christ's crucifixion. And this guy sitting there like this, stroking, rubbing his wife's shoulder. At least he was at the church. But who am I to condemn them? Because I've had my moments. Nonchalant, indifferent, and faux excitement, F-A-U-X. And so I want to have you really be thinking on how much of this, our system, do you take for granted? You know, we just got off our Bible study, and I heard a quote by Adrian Rogers. He's a pastor in Houston. I think he's passed on now. And he said, from a Christian standpoint, the Christian life is everything you want if you had sense enough to want it. And I started thinking about that quote, and so many of us, if we employ the Art Williams system, it would give us everything we want if we had the sense to want it. And how many of us, again, if I'm going to go through some of the things that hit me, I've been on, I don't know what it is lately, and I praise God, this thought process of whatever you're grateful for magnifies. Whatever it is you're grateful for, it magnifies, and you start seeing other things, kind of like a spark, you know, atoms going off. You start seeing other things you're grateful for. You know, I took my grandkids out there in town and took them to this place called Andretti's where they rode cars, and I went to the bathroom like 5 times because I told them, if I'm not at the table, where am I? The bathroom. They know me. You'll be there one day. Don't worry about it, John. If you live long enough, you will go to the bathroom a lot. And I could not go to the bathroom without thinking of 2 or 3 things I'm grateful to God for. The young men, my son and my granddaughter, you know, the blessings. You've heard me say this, that when I give thanks for food now, Rose, I say, thank you, Lord, for this food. Thank you for the money to pay for it. And thank you for the people in the business that created that income for me to pay for it. Instead of, well, I'm not making enough in overrides. They got to get to work, right? And so as we really start thinking about this, I'm going to go through a list of what should be blowing your minds. So all recruiting is falling in love with something, having your butts blown out of the water with it, and then wanting other people in on it for their sake. You got to see this. You got to get in on it. And so I just made a list. How many of us have ever heard, you don't want to blow this one? How many of us are blowing this? There's a movie out, in one of my best movies I've ever watched, called The Best Years of Our Lives. It won many Academy Awards, about these men that came back from World War II. One man had his hands blown off in an explosion on a Navy ship, and he had 2 hands and all he had were 2 hooks. And he came back to make a life with no hands. And anyway, the PTSD is basically what they're were facing before the term was determined. But how many of us want to blow this thing? And if you're honest with yourself, how many years have you already blown? You know, they say youth is wasted on the young. There's so many times I like to ring people, say, shake them. Do you understand what you got a hold of here? Do you understand it? Do you understand the life you can have? Do you understand the life I'm living and you can have it? You know, I talked to, and then when I get to PowerPoint, someone asked me, I told them we took 18 people in our family. It took my son-in-law's parents, and it took my goddaughter and her best friend, and then all my grandkids. 18 of us went on a Disney cruise. And John, someone kind of said, Bill, maybe I don't want to embarrass my, can I ask what it cost you? And John, I said, I don't know the cost. I don't know. I think maybe I have an idea. I don't know. I guess I've not really added it all up with something we wanted to do. Think about how remarkable that statement is. Wouldn't you want to live a life where you don't count how much it's going to cost? You know there's plenty there and there's more coming. And all you have to do is you just get it. You got it because you want it. You never have to ask the price before you get it. Isn't that the life you want? Again, if you have the sense to want it. And so as I go through this, and Tony, thank you very much for another powerful PowerPoint. And again, I love this quote. Most men would rather die than to think. Most do. You heard me say this. The number one reason people leave Primerica is so they can go someplace, John, where they don't have to think. They just have to show up. And they do a good job. They're mindless. They just show up to work. They do a good job. They're kept busy. Another sheet of paper. They take care of it. And all they do is 4 o'clock, 4:45, 5 minutes to 5, and 5 o'clock, and I get the heck out of here. And then they go home and they blink and they're back at work the next day. Do you ever do that? Do you ever can't wait for Friday night to come? And then next thing you know, blink, it's Monday morning. And you're waiting till the end. You're living your life for it to be over. We don't have to do that here. This is the blessing. Why don't you want it? A life of doing something special, money coming in, whether or not you work, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year or a month for generations, not just for you and your wife and family, husband. It's for your children's children on top of it. How many times have you heard me say Virginia's families splitting $50,000 to $60,000 a month? Bob Turley's family, he's got 2 people splitting $300,000 a month. The Saffords splitting $300,000 a month. Mike Sharp hadn't worked in 25 years to what we would consider work, maybe 30, making $4 million a year. Hector Lamarck has not worked, making $3 million a year. He admit, I have not worked in 18 years, not done anything. Maybe a few texts here and then, a few calls, because his wife had cancer. You got to be, do you have the sense, the good sense to want that? So Tony, next one, please. Is that too strong, Tony? Talk about that for a second. Is it too strong to challenge people? You got to have good sense to want that, Tony.
Coach, it's not too strong because the reality is this: our dreams are worth it. The life that we were designed to have is worth it, Coach. I don't hear that you're being too strong. I feel like you're advocating for my dreams and for me. So no, keep it coming, Coach.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for putting this together. Isn't that wonderful, Tony? Thank you. You blow this and you've blown a big one. I'm not talking about, most people are not going to leave Primerica. But one of my the favorite chapter of the book, How Money Works, the one that really got my attention, was the man who puts away $2,000 a year for 6 years and the one who doesn't, his brother doesn't. The one who put away 2,000 for 6 years stops. The one who didn't put any money away starts. One sacrificed for 6 years, one sacrificing for 34. Which one are you? Where's the evidence of which one are you? If you've been in this business 5 or 6 years, you're not an RVP yet. If you've been in this business for 5 or 6 years and you've not developed any RV, at least 3 or 4 RVPs, you're the one on the right. You're going to have to sacrifice for 30 to 40 years. You know, I've been in this company for 35. A lot of people brag on it. I've been with this company for 35 years. Congratulations to you. But when did you come in and say, I'm going to do this thing for 6 years and I'm going to enjoy for the next 34? Larry Weidel has not had a base shop for 40 years. Makes $2.5 million a year. Virginia Carter has her hierarchy. She's not had a base shop since 1984. 40 years, still producing $50,000 to $60,000 a month. Think about that for a second. So if you blow this one, you blowed a lot. And are you too perfunctory? Yeah, I got it. Heard that. Yeah. And go to the convention. Yeah. I've been to 3 conventions, Bill. I've been to 4. You know, I heard Art Williams. I met Art. We walk around talking about how we're a part of this, but we're not really being able to point to the fact that we've used every part of it, and now we're set for life and our children are set for life. Again, 3 by 3 by 3. Are you blowing that? You know, I'm honest. I have the honor and privilege of being able to speak at the convention this time. First time in history, my history, I've ever spoken at a national convention. So they gave me 10 minutes, and I cannot not talk about the 3 by 3 by 3. Because Art Williams cannot not talk about it. You heard me talk about that. Why do we look at 3 by 3 by 3? And what do you do with new recruit? Get them licensed, get them coded, get them trained, but we don't get them 3 people. How many times have you heard page 7? We go, perfunctory. Versus, you mean I can do 3 by 3 by 3? I get 3 people and I turn them into 9, turn them into 27, turn them into 81. Wow. Andy Onstead, you ask him the key to his success, the multiples. Art Williams, the key to his success, the multiples. You cut them wide open, guess what they say? 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. Most of us go, They're in financial services. Art Williams was in the multiplication of people business. You blow that. You've blown everything here. Because we don't sell, we're embarrassed. Like one guy told me, been around forever. Bill, I'm embarrassed to tell people about the multiples. Isn't that something? But he loves telling people about the multiples of money. But he's embarrassed to tell people about the multiples of people because it looks like one of those, right? But unless you master that, how many times have you been told, go 4 deep? Are you blowing that one? How much evidence do you need? And I can sit here and ramble off 30 to 40 million dollar earners who came at 40. They were the 4th one down. When was the last time you purposely took somebody 4 deep? And when was the last time you took that 4th person 4 deep and took that 8th person 4 deep? You see that difference? Double-digit recruiting. How many times have you heard that one, John? All your life, I get a double digit. You heard me say this the other day. I did it on our Saturday training. I was involved in 10 recruits a month and $10,000 in personal premium every month for 8 straight years. I'm telling you, that's your job. You do that, and you're going to have a legendary life. You're going to have a legendary, significant 6-figure income. You're going to have dozens and hundreds of RVPs. You only have to do it for 18 months. Think about that. Are you blowing that one? I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm trying to prod you into understanding what the heck we got a hold of here. You're born in America? Yeah. Jeez, you got to be wealthy. Remember? John Johnson said to Dennis Kimbrough, why aren't you rich? You live in America. You're healthy. You got a decent head on your shoulders. You're in Primerica? My gosh. Dad, did you join Primerica? Oh, yeah, your mom and I joined 20 years ago. Wow. You must have 20, 30, 40, 50 RVPs. Art Williams, when he met somebody at our meeting we had last time he was in Dallas, said, how long you been in Primerica? Oh, 5 years. You might, what do you have, 10, 15 RVPs by now? Oh, no, I don't have any. You see? He went, really? See that? Because you're blowing it. Here's the benefit package. Free stock. You heard me go through that. James Watkins, in the last seven, it has over $600,000 of free stock in the last 5 years. Andrea Burks, $2 million in free stock. Willie Naranjo is getting every year between $500,000 and $700,000 in free stock every year. Ownership. Think about that. Where else could you go to own anything? You know, I went to Chick-fil-A yesterday, and they got employees, they got cooks, they got to be open 7 days a week. He's got headaches. I don't even get a phone call. Company handles all of it. I got Yvonne handling the administrative stuff and Patrick. And I don't have to do any of that stuff. But I got ownership. Virginia Carter's family gets ownership. There'll be an income to my family for the next 100 years. We went through the pandemic and all our businesses grew. Other businesses went out of business. And I didn't put this on here, Tony. I should have told you. A $50 million line of credit. Think about what Art Williams had to do. He had to put down his head on that pillow 11 times, knowing it was over. This thing is going to collapse. They couldn't find anyone to fund us. 3 times, 3 different companies said it's over. Financial Assurance told him it's over. National Home Life told him it was over. PennCorp Financial told him it was over. He had to mortgage his home 3 times just to finance this thing. He signed a letter with PennCorp Financial saying, if this thing goes under, Art Williams is going to owe them $200 million. Where's your line of credit, John? Where's your relationship with the bank? You can get $50 million line of credit. You don't have to come up with any financial statement. You don't have to come out. You don't have to have a payback schedule. They don't charge you interest. They can never call the loan. They can never come in and say, we're taking over. You don't have to worry about the government coming in and changing the rules on it. And then when you promote an RVP, they have a $50 million line of credit. And they promote an RVP, they get a $50 million. Not only do you have a $50 million line of credit, but every RVP you produce automatically get a $50 million line of credit with Primerica. How about override through 6 generations? RVPs who have RVPs who have RVPs. Art Williams said, you get 7 RVPs and teach them how to get 7 and teach them how to get 7. 59, there's 399 RVPs. You're making $320,000 a month. Think about that. Replacement. I mean, I'm going to go to a convention, and when I get there, I'm going to meet people. So they're going to come up to me and say, Bill, yeah, my name is. I'm a 3rd generation to you. I've never met you. Bill, I'm a 5th generation to you. I've never met you. Bill, I'm a 2nd generation to you. I've never met you. Ain't that something? And all you did was what? Get an RVP and start personally. And where do you get the 7 RVPs? from the first one who leaves you a replacement, and that's free. That's free. That's already set up. We've made all the mistakes. Forever renewals on all the products. Think about this. Forever renewals. I was talking to Virginia Carter's daughter, and I said, we got a guy named like Matt Wiersbicki, and we got James Watkins, we got Patrick. They're writing mutual funds to 35, 40, 45-year-old people that will pay 12b1 fees forever. So that code number never will die. That code number never gets sick. That code number never gets cancer. That code number can never be taken away. And you got 12b1s endlessly. And a lot of people, you sell a mutual fund, and 5 years later, you can go back, and for some people it works. You change that to a managed account, and John, your renewals, 12b1s go from 1.5% to 5%. Triple renewals forever. See, you blow this one. Are you blowed it? I could look at it. Most people on this call and say, you're blowing it. You're blowing it big time. Another one, life insurance, increasing benefit rider for 10 years. Now, what the heck does that mean? Watch this. If you do $10,000 in premium, right? And a 10% bonus, that's $1,000 in premium every year coming in off that $10,000 that month. So you do $100,000 in premium in a year. That's $12,000 in premium. New premium every year coming in off that original, right? You do that for 10 years. You know how much money you're making in IBR? $60,000 a year of a $8,000 base shop. In 10 years, just on renewals of the IBR. That's if you don't grow. That you keep doing $8,000 a month, $100,000 a year, $60,000 per $100,000. What if you're doing $500,000 a year in premium? What are you making? $300,000 in 12b1 in the IBRs. $300,000. Got the point? How about the ancillary products? Auto and home. They renew it, auto and home, prepaid, legal, all that stuff, right? And the thing you got to be saying to yourself, you've heard it, it's now or never. How many of you are choosing never? Because you're not chosen now. You keep putting it off and putting it off. And if you it's people months and it had been over, and they choose not to do it in 18 months. So they chose another 18, didn't do it. Another 18, didn't do it. 5, 6, 8, 10 years later, it could have been over with and growing, and they could have been out with their families on boats and traveling and getting money coming in and having RVPs created. They didn't get around to it. Okay, why? They're blowing it. Next one, Tony. We do this all the time with clients. You'd rather have a big, make a big mistake or a little mistake. They'd rather make little mistakes, right? It's a big mistake picking never. Big mistake. Not double-digit recruiting every month. It's a test. Did you double-digit last month? No. You chose never. You chose never last month? Well, Bill, I couldn't get anybody recruiting anybody for me. What did I say? For 8 years, what did I do? And James Watkins has done it. Mario Arizona has done it. The people that I respect, Omar, all of us, for a period of time, were involved in 10 recruits a month personally. Said, I can't get my people recruiting. You chose never. I don't know what I got to do to get people working, because you chose never. I don't know after you get you working. Not doing 10 by 10 for 18 months, and you know it, and you know it, and you don't do it, which means what? You can have the life that we're promising if you have sense enough to want it. A lot of you have spouses at home going, I want it, but he's got to go, he's got to do it. I can't do it for him. No, it's a personal choice. This is, like Art Williams said, it's football is really not a team game, it's one-on-one. Same thing, it's a one-on-one game. I don't want to hear, I'm trying to get my team, I've been talking to my team, and then you're not double digit. No, you've got, I don't care what your team does, John, you got to be involved in 10 coming in for at least 18 months, maybe 12, maybe 6, maybe 5 years. I don't know how long, if you're working right market. Dragging things small, or is that big? $100,000 ring in 1982. $100,000 ring in 1982. You got to make $100,000. Now with all our various products, back then it was just with advanced commissions. Not even, we had no bonuses, didn't have any as earned money, didn't have any securities. Now you can have all kinds of ways. I'm not saying $100,000 is not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Don't get too overly impressed with it. I got the ring. So it is an achievement. It's a step. But you can't be thinking, I made it. I got the ring. I'm an RVP with the ring. Bill, I got to just get the contract. Are you dragging your feet? You ever try to pull somebody and they're dragging their feet? I like to tell people, I go behind people, Tony, I look at their heels. I said, your heels are gone. What do you mean? You've been digging your heels in. I'm trying to push you to the promised land, and your heels are gone. Those big old high heels you used to wear, and down to a nub. You're digging in. Bill, I'll do it when I'm dadgum ready to do it, like mules, right? The more you pull them, the more they back off. Refusing the gift of the multiples. You heard me say this on Saturday, John. If I gave you a gift and you never opened the bag, are you really grateful for it? Oh, yeah, because you gave me the gift. But you never used it. Oh, no, but I can whenever I'm ready. You can't really be appreciative of the gift if you don't use it. How many people are not using the power of the multiples? They're not even selling it. They're not sitting there saying, wow, look what I got hold for you. Not going 4 deep on every rescue. How many people, you heard me say this with Cynthia Greer, and years ago we were at this is, I don't know, 10 years ago probably, 8 years ago, we're at a company, a statewide Texas leadership convention by John Walsh he puts on. How'd you do last month? He said, 5 recruits or whatever it was. I said, have you ever heard of 4 deep? Yeah. She said, yeah, I heard of it. I said, I'm gonna go talk to somebody who will listen. And I wasn't being a smart aleck. I wasn't trying to motivate her. I was trying to make a point. That's the point. How many times you have to hear 4 deep with every recruit? Again, when you take somebody 4 deep, you got to take this one 4 deep. Said, if I got one, he's got a license. He's going to PFSU this weekend. He's testing for Series 6 and 63. Wonderful. But unless he has people, he's going to be gone. You don't have anything. You got to be at least 6 wide, 6 deep. Not going 4 deep in every rescue, not getting to RVP, so you're losing tons of money. My job is to get you to RVP. You know, son, why don't you just get them to RVP and just give them a chance? Give them a chance. You got a chance. If you're not going to do it at RL, you're not going to do it at RVP. Got the point? I'm just taking a pay cut, hoping you'll do something. You got to say, when you go to RVP, I go from a 40% override to 15% override. Got that? I'm financing you. I take a pay cut. So what? So your family can make more money by doing the same $2,000 a month in premium? Again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't. I think the chance is you got the chance. I don't give you the chance. You know what you got to do to go RVP, and it's not that hard. You got to work what for 6 months? Not having 7-10 Zooms a day. I talked to some people. How many Zooms? 3 a day, 2 a day. Zooms last 30 minutes. That's 5 hours a day. We used to have to do 10 appointments a week to become what we became. And that's getting in your car, going someplace. We spent 80% of our time on the road going to appointments, making phone calls. At least with social media now, they let you know they're interested. Not using social media. Am I saying you should be 100% in social media? No. But I believe there's some people in your base shops that should be using social media. I believe personally, you're not going to get very many women to come in and do it our old way because of night appointments away from their families. And the successful people now are integrating 2 ways. They're doing it, getting 6 names at the interview, calling people, maybe they're one-on-one, Zoom calls, the way we always used to do it. And they got this second subsidiary side with social media. You cannot argue there's some people we never would have gotten if not for social media. It's got to be part of your system for creating RVPs and making $1 million a year income. Not getting the best sick names at every interview. You know how many people that they never get the names, they never get the names, they refuse to get the names. Yet how many times, Tony, have we said, what's the purpose of an interview? To get 5 or 6 names at the interview. Why? Because now I got fresh inventory to call. Have you ever heard me say this, John? John, you want me to work for you? You want to work for me or do you want me to work for you? Would you rather go home and wonder if that'll work or have me prove it to you? Prove it to me. These 5 or 6 people, I'll call you at 3 o'clock this afternoon, John. The good news, I'll get you 7 people in a week. If I don't, I'll buy you a steak dinner. Nothing's changed. Again, are you blowing this thing? Thinking you have 100 years to get this done. How long do you think you have to go after it? And I got plenty of time, right? I love what Jim Rohn said. Man yells to the universe, give me more time. The universe yells back, there is no time, more time. I want more of you. How many of us are moseying down the road? I got plenty of time. My kids are young. I'll tell you something. I went to Dr. Chumley this morning, and I've known her for 28 years. 28 years I've been going to her. What? 28? I can't believe how fast it goes. Think about that. Life is just a what? Flicker. See, I believe the people that made something out of this, they walk into this and they're saying, I got to get this done. I don't want it to take forever. I want to get it over with. Like Carol told me to do. Big mistake, putzing around. Little mistake. These might all be little mistakes for you. I had to learn all these the hard way. Blaming your upline. He didn't train me, he didn't help. The victim mentality is so over. I'm so over with all that. America's the victim. They done me wrong. My company, my upline didn't help me. No, he didn't train me. I mean, you ever hear that? I mean, please. You're embarrassing yourself and not getting it over with. Getting it over with. Max out. Is anybody in this company working harder than you? I can honestly say, John, for a period of time, nobody in this company worked harder than me. Nobody. Nobody had more appointments. Nobody recruited more people than involved with. Nobody. Now, there's other guys making a lot more money than me. But it wasn't, congratulations to them. They got blessings that I didn't get. I got a lot of blessings though. And God blessed them more. Congratulations to them. God favored them in a wonderful, special way, but didn't take anything away from me. You see that? God didn't hold anything back on me. I earned it. I worked for it. And he rewarded me with it. Other people he rewarded differently, maybe with more. But I can honestly look, name anybody in the company. How come he's doing better than you? He's better than me, I guess. But he didn't want it any more than me. Some people make it, they're journeyman baseball players, and other people are Mike Trouts. Some people, whatever reason, they have talents and abilities and skills that others don't have. But I've made my millions. Next one, please, Tony. Is that it? What are you getting out of this?
Did you ask me, Coach?
John Rogers.
Perfect.
And then the young professor.
Sorry, I was just sitting there for chatting away and I was still muted. Perfunctory. You're right. It is when you asked Tony earlier, you said, is this too tough? And my honest answer when I said to me, I said, for a lot of people on here, probably is. Because the change, the wanting to change and wanting things to change in your life isn't a burning white desire, like you said. I remember, and this is what I'm really getting at. It's kind of taking me back to a spot where a person was telling me back when I was new in this business and I was blowing and going, and I hadn't gotten beat up by the lack of hitting certain goals, but they were like, you're obsessed, like you are what was the word, too intense with this whole Prime America thing that you got going on. And so getting back to not in the way that you said where you're an a-hole to people or you're walking around and better than them, but with that sense of urgency that I don't know if I have tomorrow. I don't know if I have next year. I don't know if, when we're talking about convention, going to convention tomorrow, I may not be here in 3 years to go to another convention. Just that whole act of that sense of urgency to get it done for my family, and for myself to go make money. When people are out doing things that they're doing them to make money. I'm a money-making machine, changing all the programming, listening to you with the not pity, but the hope, and not the hope for us, Coach, that you see hope in us, but it's the hope that we are understanding what words that are coming out your mouth and somebody's getting it this time, that it changes our lives. Because we apologize to you so many times and we don't. I think you probably like, you don't owe me an apology. We're okay. I'm hoping that you hop on this train and don't get left behind. So that's what I'm getting out of today.
Thank you, John. Fernando, and then Ivy, if you'd like to comment on what you got out of today. Fernando?
Thank you, Coach. What I'm getting is that this is so big. This is so much bigger. And sometimes we can get caught up in the cliche version of it would be nice to have, I want to be here, I want to accomplish this. But how impactful every one of those things on that line on that slide that you laid out there, that we can't get anywhere else. And so what am I waiting for? If this is what I say I want, and then there's all these things that I can't find in any one other place, why am I spending my time anywhere but doing those things that are going to bring that about? And so John hit it on the head when he talked about the intensity. And I look back at some moments, like you said for a period of time, and my periods of time have been a lot shorter than the time necessary needed to accomplish the goals that we're talking about here, to accomplish having all of that. So getting back to that intensity, not for a day, a week, or a month, but for 18 months, 3 years, however long, like Art Williams says, whatever it takes, however long it takes, knowing that this is all on the other side. This is all waiting for you if you would just commit to it.
Well, what do you think I mean, Ivy, when I said, if you have the good sense to want it? It's amazing how people don't want what we have to offer. They'd rather go at a job they don't like and be not involved. They don't like their boss, and they're not engaged, disengaged. And we can offer them all this. Like, I love what C.S. Lewis said. We're offering people, in my terminology, a trip to Disney World, and they're choosing to spend all their time in a mud puddle by the side of the road.
Yeah, Coach, I think that when you say the good sense to want this, I think part of that, and I can only speak for myself, is that I'm not showing them enough success. You know, you talk about blowing it, and, you know, I've always been told, hey, listen, there's two main reasons why people don't want what we do, is they really don't understand it, or they don't believe enough in themselves to want to go out and do it, right? And so part of that disillusion could essentially be that, you know, if we have friend circles and we're not showing, you know, success through this incredible opportunity, then that's kind of, for me, that's part of the reason why a lot of people that I've spoken to in the past didn't have the good sense to want to be a part of this, is because I didn't show them the success that literally this company is handing out to everyone. I mean, I look at the amount of millionaires that we've had, you know, promoted over the last 10, 15 days, Coach, and I keep thinking to myself, man, I'm blowing it. So, I mean, think about how great God is that today you're talking exactly about that. Tony put in the comments, man, this was an intervention. It was for me too. You know, one of the first quotes that you started today's call with was that most men would rather die than think. And I think that, in all honesty, it's not that we're not thinking, it's that we're thinking about all the wrong things. You know, we're thinking about, you know, who's doing what, and we're spending a lot of time, you know, binge scrolling about, you know, what celebrities doing, whatever. And you said it, it's not about the economy, it's about our economy. So if we get focused on the things that really help us to be able to help others, then everything shifts, right? John Addison once said during a convention, he says, you know, yesterday is history and tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it present. How can we squander this? Every single day is a gift. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this phone call, especially, you know, this Zoom call. We plug in every single week, but especially today, because, you know, you really just kind of gave me a tap on the shoulder and a smack in the butt to get it together. You know, today is a gift. I get the opportunity to do something special and share this amazing opportunity. And the people who will have the sense to do it and will want to continue to follow me is because I'll be worth following, and because I'm going to show them that success. So thank you, Coach.
Well, thank you very much. Perditra, you have your hand up, and I'm going to go to Santino. I'd like hear your comments, Santino. Perditra?
Hello. Thanks, Coach Bill, for this call today. But I wanted to express to everyone that knows me personally, everyone who knows me personally, my husband passed away on April the 4th. We thought we had more time. So with his passing, I'm hoping that everyone is inspired by our story, that you don't have the time you think you have. So if you can get this done, get it done. Don't wait. I am a walking billboard for what we represent as a Primerica client and on the business side. So you don't want to waste any time with this. You want to get it done. And thank you, Coach Bill, for that.
Oh, congratulations, Perditra. What were your numbers last month? I was very proud of you. Her husband passed away 3 months ago, and she really got more engaged, but I think she did over 20 by 25 or something like that.
Well,
right? what she's been through. Santina, you're the last word. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, for the last 2 months, I've been, my team and I have been double digit recruiting. And we want to do better. Like you told me before, I'm accomplished, but I haven't arrived. And so I am working harder to get where we need to be so we won't get lost in the sauce. And I want to be great. And I want to make, leave my husband's legacy because he was working hard. He loved everything about Primerica. So with that being said, I am going to put my best foot forward, and I can't go another month without double digit recruiting. I have to get my story out. So I'm using my story to inspire others.
Thank you, Parditra. Santino, last word, please.
Yeah, everything that everyone has said, everything that you say always rings bells on a lot of the lessons that I've learned from Coach Bill and many of the leaders in this company. And, one of the things that might be said a lot is, set yourself on fire. And a lot of people will not be able to interpret what that means because they've never done it. This is maybe the one great thing that they're going to do in their life. People are attracted to hard workers. That's how you set yourself on fire right now. People are attracted. Wake up earlier, open a book, fill your day with conversations, not life insurance sales, not investment sales. Coach Bill has done an amazing job. And he said, when we go to the convention, there's going to be this wholesaler and that wholesaler and this wholesaler, but you're never going to find the recruiting wholesaler desk. And Bill Arender said this, I'm the recruiting wholesaler for this company. And you want to know something, Coach? That's a flag that I would be proud to carry. When you decide you have to lay down that flag, I'm going to be proud to carry that for the company. I got to do much bigger numbers in order for that to happen. But if you want to start attracting people in this business, light yourself on fire, open a book, fill your appointment, be a hard worker, show your work ethic, and people will be attracted to work with you and build a company within a company with you.
Perfectly said, Santino. All right, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you. A lot of you, I won't see any of you probably at the convention. I'm there. But unless you're at our breakout, which is 5 o'clock on Thursday night. And God willing, we're going to have a great time and look forward to seeing you there. And then the week after, God bless. Thank you, Tony, for all your help. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
And just a gentle reminder, folks, we do not have any training on Saturday because we're at the convention. But next Tuesday, we'll be having Century Club. So be here and be square. Take care.